as I kneel in the darkness in the middle of the night, praying for assurance everything's gonna be alright. Lord, I see another battle, it's out in front of me. I'm afraid I won't be able, and I'll go down in defeat. But he says, do you remember where I brought you from? Just take a look behind you at how far you've come. And every time you ask me, didn't I deliver you? So why would you be thinking that I would not see you through? And didn't I walk on the water, and I calmed the raging sea? I spoke to the wind, it hushed and I gave you peace. Didn't I come to your rescue? Didn't I hear you when you called? I walked right beside you just so you wouldn't fall. Didn't I leave all of heaven just to die for your sins? I searched until I found you, and I'd do it all again. Now she's talking to her father in a house that was once a home. Said, my bills are coming due, Lord, 6 days is not that long. She hears a voice so sweet and low, said, I've moved like that before, and I'll do this little thing, and I'll give you so much more. Didn't I walk on the water, and I calmed the raging sea? I spoke to the wind, it hushed and I gave you peace. Didn't I run to your rescue? Didn't I hear you when you called? I walked right beside you just so you wouldn't fall. Didn't I leave all of heaven just to die for your sins? I searched until I found you, and I do it all again. Oh, didn't I walk on the water, and I calmed the raging sea? I spoke to the wind, it hushed and I gave you peace. Didn't I run to your rescue? Didn't I hear you when you called? Walked right beside you just so you wouldn't fall. Didn't I leave all of heaven just to die for your sins? I searched until I found you, and I do it all again.
All right, so here I am into this job, and so my dad has helped with this, me, Carter, and Sonny. And there's been days where it's just been me and Carter as well. So this has been a long job. Tomorrow will be day 7, and it should be the last day. But this was not just shingles. This was replacing all of the plywood on the roof and removing a lot of the rotten wood. And so there was a lot that went into this job. And, man, it's been hot, too. Roofing is very physical work if you've never done it before. It's very physical, everything about it. Those bundles right there around, I think, around 80 pounds each or so. And you got to get them up on the roof. And there's a lot of them. And then the plywood as well, you know, all that we had to get up there by hand. And you can see that 2x6 we added there for the ladder so it didn't bend the drip edge that we installed. And beautiful location there. It's literally about 2 minutes down the road from home, so that's very convenient. It's my first big roofing job that I got, so I'm pretty happy with it. And I just want to make sure I do a good job for these people. But they had metal. We removed that, put plywood down, removed some of the old lumber that was in there. And I've got a job from him hauling that off as well. That'll be another $200. Another hot one today. It was supposed to rain today, but it's just cloudy and overcast, so it's actually really good. Anyways, we're going to get a little bit more materials because they didn't send any starter strip. So I had to use our ridge cap for starter strip, and then we're going to get some. So we're getting more starter strip and more ridge cap as well. And we also have to get some flashing and ice and water shield. So Carter's gonna get the gate real quick. We're gonna head on to Lowe's and get some more material. We're nailing it up now, so we've got it all dried in. New plywood put down, new tar paper. And now we're just working on the shingles, getting it shingled. And I love those nail guns. They are great. They're around 200 bucks each, those nail guns, but man, they are great. So anyways, we're heading right now on to get the materials, and then we'll head on back and continue nailing it up. But yeah, the weather has been pretty, it's been pretty good for me, honestly, because almost every day that I've done the roof, you know, at least 3 or so of them, it was supposed to rain all day, and it ended up not raining. Some of them until, you know, near the end of the day, and even then it wasn't much. But today I did get rained out around 5 o'clock, and it came kind of a storm. But here's this section over here. You can see this roof doesn't have a steep pitch to it, so this is a pretty easy roof as far as like standing on it. And all that makes a difference with the roofing, because roofing is just very physical, period. So if it's, you know, 80 degrees outside, up there it's probably feels more like 100, you know, where you're on the black tar paper and shingles. You bend over a lot like that. Some guys do it on their knees. I do both. Like sometimes I'll bend over like that. It's faster like that, but it is, you can feel it in the back, no doubt. And then I have some knee pads too that you can put on for it if you wanted to just, you know, do it on your knees, which is easier on the back for sure. But it's just very physical work, everything about it. From packing the shingles to installing the shingles and everything else, it's very physical work. And I'm not a real experienced roofer or anything like that. You know, it's in my family for sure. My dad has done it for many years, I think since he was a teenager. And then my papa did it a lot before him. And I remember I used to go with my papa and dad and uncle a lot when I was a little boy, around 8 years old or so. And even younger, if I'm not mistaken. And I would kind of just go and pick up shingles and stuff like that for them. And I would get on the roofs, though, back then. Just like Carter, he's been on the roof with me here recently. And Carter's got the makings of a good worker if he keeps it up the way he's going now. But I used to go with them a lot, and it kind of brings back memories. But this is my first time since when I started this job ever using those nail guns, or a nail gun, period. There was a company that I worked for before, me and Dad did for a little while. And I was just a laborer, though. I carried the shingle, so I was just a grunt worker. So I didn't use a nailer. But now that, you know, this is my first time on this job ever really using one that I can recall. You know, if I did, it might have been just to test one out. And so it's something I had to get comfortable with, which is very easy to use. Makes it go so much faster than hammering nails, because me and Dad have done a few roofs together. If I'm not mistaken, I know of 2 at least that we've done. Well, actually, this makes at least 3 right here. So like I said, I'm not real experienced at it, but it's really not a lot to installing shingles. You do got to know how to cut them and stuff like that, but it's not very complicated. And the underlayment, you see that tar paper there, you got to know how to install that and everything. It's not really complicated. What's with roofing is just very physical. Everything about it's very hot, you know, it's very labor intensive, lots of uncomfortable positions you're in. So it just, you know, it's not for everybody. It's very physical labor, no doubt about it. I've done lots of physical jobs, and roofing is one of, if not the most physical type of work I've ever done in my life. And that's, you know, counting hand splitting firewood. Now, hand splitting firewood would be a lot worse if it was in the sun. You know, it's very physical as well, but it's usually in the winter. So you can see Sonny there in the background. So he was using a nailer too. And there he was trying to figure out how to put the nails in. I had to figure all that out as well. But man, they work great. That little compressor runs them great. It's just a little, I think a Metabo. I ordered it brand new. Those hoses, I got 200-foot hose. I got everything I need really to roof. Even the trailer, you know, that's a big reason why I got that 16-foot trailer, so I could haul shingles and stuff off. Like the lumber that we took off for this job, I'll be able to haul that off on my trailer. It'll probably take 2 loads. You know, I'm just going to bring it home, burn it, and then run my magnet over it to get the nails up. So that'll work pretty good. But yeah, that day there, I think, was a hot one, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, quite a few days. And like I said, when you're on the roof, it's just a lot hotter. And I'm not trying to say that to, like, make it sound like I'm anything for doing it. If you've ever been on a roof and done roofing, you know what I'm talking about. Those shingles get so hot that sometimes that if you even set on them, they'll burn you through your pants. So it's very physical work. But I'm very happy with how this is coming out so far. And I've still got some things to do to finish it up. Tomorrow should be my last day finally. It'll be my 7th day, but there's been days I've done it by myself too. I haven't always had help, and then sometimes Dad's left early and Sonny's left early and stuff, but they have been a big help, no doubt about it, for sure, and I'm very thankful for them. Carter as well. Carter's even been a big help as far as like getting me my tape and tape measure or a box knife, whatever. But his mommy Did not want him to go back out with me because he got burnt pretty good, and I don't blame her because I don't want him getting burnt real bad either. He's pretty fair skinned compared to the other kids like Camden and Marceline and Nevaeh, all kind of get really dark like me. I've got a lot of Italian from my mom's side, and then Dad and them, they've got quite a bit of Indian. They don't have any Italian. That's what Dad was saying the other day. He said, I don't know hardly of any Italian people around here that are Italians except for you all. Me and, my mom's side of the family have a lot of Italian in them. They're Marinos. That's their last name. It's my mom's maiden name is Marino. But anyways, all that's besides the point. But I hope y'all have been doing good and everything. I'm looking forward to getting back into hand splitting firewood. I do miss it. It's something that I miss after I don't do it for a little while. But I'll tell you one thing, though. I'll probably wait until like the early morning or later in the evening to do it because it is not as fun when you're doing it in the heat. That's for sure. I'd really like to get me a good double bit hafted and do a little splitting. Keep collecting that wood from the stave mill. Ronald brought me something the other day. I'm afraid it's elm maybe. He was talking about how he tried to split it and he couldn't hardly split it, and I couldn't really identify it just by looking at it. I've got some elm before, but the bark was completely off of it if I'm not mistaken. If that's indeed what that was, I believe it was, and man, that was some tough stuff to split. The only thing I've ever split that was tougher was sycamore, and but I think that's what he brought me. So I'm hoping it's like, or actually from what I remember of it, it is kind of like sycamore in that once it's seasoned, it's a lot easier to split. Because I remember I split it after it set for a while, and it split easier, just like sycamore did. It's odd how some wood split easier seasoned, some split easier green. As you can see, it's kind of overcast there. That's been nice to work in those overcast days, instead of the sun. I prefer that all day. When you're up on a roof like that, I'd prefer it to be overcast any day. But as you can see, this is the biggest section of the roof right here. He's even got a porch over there on that side. And I finished it the other day. And now I'm kind of working on the back side of the roof. But I've just got a little section left, and I've got some flashing to put in. That pole back there behind me that the electric line's going to, I've got to get a boot for that. And I think that's about it. I installed all of the last of the starter shingles today. Oh, the ridge cap as well. So that goes up there on the ridge on the top of the roof. And the ridge cap, I've got to install that as well. Beautiful view from up there. It's literally 2 minutes down the road. My uncle was right back there near that white building in the background, pouring concrete. And I ran into him that morning. He didn't see me, or if he did see me, he didn't talk. He might have been in a hurry. But I seen him at a gas station, and then I ended up looking over and I seen that truck, the same truck. He must have got a new truck, a different one. And they were pouring concrete. It looked like him and two other guys. So it's kind of neat to be, doing a roof and then looking over and seeing my uncle doing concrete. Because he's been doing that since he was, I think, a teenager, if I'm not mistaken. He's a Marino. Frank Marino is his name. And so, yeah, all my mom's family moved to Kentucky when they were little kids. They're from Louisiana. So my dad's from Kentucky, So that's how I ended up coming to be in Kentucky, I guess, from them meeting and me being born in Kentucky. But I'm born and raised here, and I love it here, I'm definitely a country boy. And I remember when I first started for this lawn care service, commercial lawn care service in Lexington, one of the guys mentioned, that he didn't think I'd last very long. I think he said they were saying that. They were saying they didn't think I'd last very long by looking at me back then. And back then I was in a lot better shape than I am now. And even one of the other guys there, he said, oh, yeah, he said, he called me amigo. He said, I didn't think you was going to make it a week. And I said, what do you mean? He said, and back then I was in better shape. But he said, yeah, usually guys that are muscular, they don't last very long. And he said, oh, but amigo, not many people work like you. So that was a compliment coming from him because he's a really hard worker. His name was Romero. I learned a lot from him. Learned how to swing a weed eater good from him. I remember one day I was going along a fence row at a farm. We were weed eating. And I was struggling. I was just trying to weed eat regular because that's how I thought you did it. But it was real tall stuff. And he got off his mower and jumped on the other side of the fence with the weed eater and started swinging the weed eater. And I noticed, like, when he was swinging, it was literally, it was like it was cutting through the weeds. And that's how I learned that technique from him. And also from, like, a zero turn. If you back down a hill rather than going straight down it the way they're geared, it won't slide down the hill and take off on you. So I really learned a lot from those guys doing commercial lawn care and landscaping with them. I'm very comfortable with a weed eater now. I actually really enjoy using a good weed eater. Stills are what I like a lot. So I'll plan to get some footage of that this summer, Lord willing. All that's kind of beside the point, but it kind of reminds me of that, you know, just how it was when I did lawn care and landscaping with those guys. Good memories, really. I learned a lot from them. And, you know, I've learned a lot from Dad, too, as far as roofing goes and stuff. You know, how to cut the shingles and stuff. I've learned all that, you know, just on this job alone. Because Dad normally would cut the shingles for me, and then he would just let me run them, you know. But I actually know how to do all that now, so I'm very glad of that. I can do a roof by myself at this point, you know. And so I'm very thankful for that. And now metal and stuff, I've still got to learn on them as far as putting in metal goes. But they're pretty simple. I put some on this trailer that we live in here, and it wasn't really too bad. Turned out pretty good. I like the color of those shingles. I've got all this side right here, which was the biggest part of the roof, all the way up to the ridge up here. I've got shingles on all that. I've got this piece over here doing, then right now I'm on the other side, though. I've already got shingles laid. I went ahead and got my starter strip all the way around. The drip edge is done. I got all of the ice and water shield in the valley and everything, so yeah, it should be pretty easy from here on, honestly. But I'm just working my way up. Right now I'm taking a little break. It's worked out really good for me, because every day for the last 3 days they were given like a high percentage of rain, and it just hasn't rained hardly, very little. So I've worked every day. This is my 6th day in a row, so it should be my last day as well. But then I'm going to come back and get like these boards and stuff up too for him, and that's another $200 to get that stuff out of here for him. So that's a separate job, but I should be done with this one today, and I'll show you at the end of the day once I get it done. Carter stayed home. He got pretty sunburnt, so, and his mommy didn't want him out, and I don't either, with him getting burnt like that and, you know, up on a roof in this heat. So, but anyways, I'm taking a little break. It got a good breeze blowing. The sun's out, but it got a good breeze blowing. It's not as bad today as it has been, you know, a few other days here. One day was really hot, but right now, yeah, that breeze feels great, actually. I like that. Hope that stays for a while. Beautiful area out here too. I'm very happy. This is my first big job, and I'm finishing it on my own, so it's kind of cool. We put that there just temporarily for the ladder so it wouldn't bend the drip edge. But now I've got the ladder over here on this side of the house, because that's where the shingles and stuff are. So you can see how many shingles I've got to carry up. There may be some extra. I think he said he got enough for extra, but anyways. All right, I just got rained out. So it'll be one more day after this one, but still okay with that. This was a big job. It wasn't a little one by any means. But anyways, I got rained out, which it's around 5 o'clock p.m. I've been working though until 8 o'clock sometimes, 8 p.m. But I'm not gonna be able to. It's storming pretty bad here right now, and it's not supposed to stop for a couple hours. But tomorrow we've got chances as well, but it looks like it's gonna be later on. So I'm planning to get there early tomorrow and finish this roof. Be done with it. Be glad to get this one finished. It's been a lot of work going into this roof, you know, replacing all the plywood, tearing lots of the rotten wood out, taking the tin off, putting new tar paper, new shingles, new drip edge, all of that. There's some boots on some vents, or at least one right now. I need to get another one.